Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehakol nidbarei.
Amen.
Amen.
L'chaim, l'chaim v'bracha. All righty. So we began yesterday the new mimer, new Hasidic discourse. Tziyam b'mishpat tipade b'shaveh b'tzedakah. Zion with judgment will be redeemed, and its captives with charity. A verse in Isaiah, the book of Isaiah, Yeshayahu, is a book that's full, as our sages say, of nechama, comfort. Although there you'll see things that are truly openly comforting, there are things that are not openly comforting. So those things are the sweetening of severities that have an appearance of severity, but in fact, they are sweetened. And this verse that we are quoting is at the conclusion of the book. Now, it's explained by the Alter Rebbe and many others that this verse is speaking about our neshama, Adam, that is Adam al-Elyon, that is similar to above. And Sion has two components to it. To the soul, has two components. The first component is the soul, the way it is above. Essence of the soul, the pnimius halev, the innermost part of one's heart, right, which is bound up with Hashem. And this doesn't need, this part of our soul is in exile and needs mishpat, as we will explain what that means. It needs judgment, or I mean, that's what we try. I don't know, judgment, law, maybe law. Let's use the term law. Okay. And then we have the part of the soul that is within us, that has intelligence, has emotions, the powers of the soul. That part of the soul, the tzion that we're talking about over here, it is a captive. Tzion means, well, we'll get to in a moment. It refers to the soul. Tzion refers to the soul, okay? Because that's the main makeup of, as we learn in Tanya chapter 32, the main part of the individual is their soul, right? As opposed to their body, right? So, the inner part of the soul, the essential part of the soul, right? That part of Tzion needs law to be redeemed, okay, in a time of exile. The captive part of the soul, which is the powers of the soul, the capacity, the capability of the soul in exile, it needs tzedakah, charity. Okay. That's clear. Yeah. In other words, it needs it in order to be redeemed, to take it out of its captivity. Hi, hi. Right. Okay. Amazing coffee. Thank you. Okay, let's understand this. What's going on here? So this aspect that we call pnimius halev, the innermost part of the heart, right? The pintaliyid, if you will, the quintessential part of the essence of the Jew, right? So it says in the Shema that these things, it says that these things that I command you today. So our sages say, what do you mean that God's commanding today? Well, from here we see that the Torah is telling us that we need to see every day as new, right? That the Torah that we learn is new, fresh. It's not old. Even though I just gave a chazara, I repeated from yesterday's class, right? So ideally, it's not, oh, been there, heard that, know that. No, it's new. It doesn't mean that it's new like you didn't know it, but you experience the freshness and the newness in it, right? So the question though is, that sounds like a very lofty ideal. It sounds good, but is it real, right? How is it that life, Torah teachings in particular, but life is going to be, fresh and new at all times, right? And since the Torah is saying this, it means it's the truth, right? It's the truth. And God isn't asking us to do something that we don't have the capacity, because then he wouldn't ask us. So it has to be that it's within our power that we can reach this. Now, seemingly, though, I mean, that's the statement, right? But seemingly, a person is a mugbal, limited, like hagbala or gavul. Gavul is like a boundary, like the boundaries of Israel that we learned in last week's parsha, right? Boundaries means limitation, right? So a person's limited, and not only limited, but we are constantly changing, right? So and we're constantly changing. Constantly changing doesn't mean we're changing that we're becoming better necessarily, but we're changing. In one moment, I'm feeling I'm cold. The air conditioning makes me cold. Then I have some coffee. I feel hot. L'chaim. One moment, I'm feeling joyful. Another moment, a memory from the past makes me feel sad. That's what we're talking about. We're constantly changing, right? That's the human condition. Well, if you're constantly changing, how is it possible you're going to come every day and see in your day that everything is new? How are you going to, in other words, seeing everything new every day, seeing everything fresh in your life is a constant, but we're not constant. By definition, we're, first of all, limited. And this is something without limitation, because it's always that you're going to always experience freshness and newness in life, particularly in Torah study, but in life, right? How are you going to get there? We're limited. We're always changing. We're not constant. Wow. I need l'chaim for this one. God talks to me too openly in the Hasidic discourses that I learn. This is something I struggle with. Being constant, even though you think that I'm here every day teaching, day in, day out. Even if I go on vacation, I'm teaching in the morning from wherever I am, or I'm out of town, whatever it is. But I'm not constant the way it's here. L'chaim. Yeah. So the explanation is, as brought in the teachings of the Rebbe's predecessors, Alter Rebbe and so on, that this comes from the Pnimius Halev, from the innermost part of one's heart, that it is beyond any change. The innermost part of your heart, the love of God, is constant. The desire for attachment to Hashem is constant. It doesn't change. You and I, not living on that level. So sometimes we feel, okay, I want to learn. Sometimes I just want to, veg out, as they say in French, right? That's a veg out. Yeah, you don't understand my French?
Good now.
To just,
Changing. Pension means just doing nothing.
doing nothing. Just,
Watching TV.
yeah, watching TV or watching something on your phone, and, we all like that, right?
Teaching new words.
In other words, we change. We change. Right now, hopefully, you're totally focused on learning. That's this moment. Afterwards, whatever, in a different frame of mind, right? Because we change. But from the Pnimius Halev, the innermost part of our heart, which the soul, the core of the soul resides, right? From the brain to the heart, reflects in the heart. There's no change there. It loves Hashem constantly. It wants attachment to Hashem through a mitzvah constantly. That's all it wants. It doesn't want anything else, right? Therefore, when the Pnimius Halev, the innermost part of the heart, is appropriate the way it's supposed to be, it will affect also the powers of your soul, meaning your intelligence and your emotions, right? This is how you get to regulate your emotions, because you're touching the core of your soul, or the core of your soul is beyond this, and therefore can regulate it, can affect it, right? Yeah, that's to reach that. To reach the core of your soul, that's where, right? Now we're just explaining. And not only your intelligence and the emotions of your soul, which are deeper within you, right? It's not your core of your soul, but it's your subconscious emotions we're talking about here, because it will also then regulate, and bring into alignment the lavush of your soul. What's lavush? You've had this many times. Who can answer me? Lavushim. Lavushim.
Okay, your clothes.
Garments. Very good. All right. L'chaim, l'chaim. Yeah. You just redeemed me. I was going to say what kind of teacher I am. You don't even know this basic word, lavushim. Lavushim is garments. What's garments? Of your soul. What is it? Thought, speech, and action, right? Not intelligence and emotions. That's not garments. That's beyond the garment. Your feelings you can't change. Your garments you can change. You could choose what thought to think, what words to say, what action to do. You could choose them. Take it on, take it off. But your feelings, you can't choose them like a garment on and off. When you have a very strong feeling of anxiety because of something that's going on in your life, you can't take that on and off, right? So it's not called a garment. It's deeper within the individual, right? It's the powers of the soul. Now, what are we saying here? When you touch the Pneumius Anishama, Adlaiv, when you touch the innermost core of your heart, where there's constance, as we just said, there's no change, then you'll affect your emotions, your intelligence. You'll affect also the garments of your soul, thought, speech, and action, that they will be aligned, right? That they will not only be aligned, but when you're learning Torah, you're going to see the newness and the freshness in it. As you'll see it and experience it in your thoughts, in your the way you express it, in the way you act, right? Right. You're not going to be like this, bored, because you heard this already, right? That's an action. You're going to be focused, right? In your words, that will express you will sense the newness in it, the freshness in the words of Torah, right? That's in your levushim, also on the emotional, intellectual, the intelligence of your soul, right? There too, which is deeper. We're not gonna be aware of that really, because it's a deeper part. It's within us, but there too it will sense the newness constantly. Why? Because you've activated, you've touched, you're in tune with, aligned with the Pneumius Alev. It's revealed within you, right? So since it's revealed within you, the Pneumius Alev, the innermost of your heart, so therefore also the revealed powers of the soul will also be complete, right? And this is what it means that Israel are called in this verse, Tziyai. This is what it means that they're called Tziyai, right? Right, and Zion can mean the land of Israel, right? Zion, right? Can be the land of Israel. But here's the people of Israel, right? That's what it refers to. Zion means here. Zion means here. And therefore we're all Zionists on this verse because it's talking about Israel, the people, not Israel, the land. Okay? So, and what does the word Zion mean actually? It means siman. It means a signpost. Right. In other words, when a person is touched by, aligned with the Pneumius Alev, the innermost part of one's heart, right? What does that mean? It means then you become a signpost, meaning your whole being is nothing but a sign for that which is above, for the divine. You're nothing but a reflection of the divine. That's what you are. Right? That's what it means. And therefore, you'll be able to, since you're a reflection of the above, just as God is, not old, ever new and fresh. So we're not old, we're ever new and fresh. In the Torah that we learn, right? We see the newness in it, the freshness in it. even if we've learned this before, even if we know this, right? It's still, because truth doesn't get stale. Truth, real truth, gets fresher, it gets newer and more invigorating than ever. All right. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim v'rocha.
L'chaim.
Any questions?
Oh, yeah.
1,000 questions? Any questions? Any thoughts? We're good? Michael, wonderful you're here.
Thank
Be
you.
well.
Thank you.
All right. Chumash Rashi coming up. See you soon.